We are.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to another episode of TBH.
I just like saying I don't know if anybody's with us yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh. Actually, a point.
Somebody's there.
Yeah. I'm
Hi,
going to mention to you
everybody.
guys later.
Okay.
Yeah. Click on that.
We got a few people. Oh, do we have a phone to see our?
Yeah, we do.
comments?
Boss, you want to use it or Natasha?
Sure.
Have
right
here.
here.
Let Natasha do it.
I'm not even really sure why I handed that to her.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you not on our? You're not on our.
Is it not connected?
No. Christina Cronk.
Of course they're called.
Sorry.
To you. Christical to you.
I love it.
Christical. Yeah.
Okay.
How's everybody? We just came off of our last week, our 5K, which was just really fabulous. Great to meet so many new people, have so many repeats. We do 5 days of training with 5 different educators. Only this year we had a bonus and had 6. So we had Alina and Qtel and Helen and Priscilla and Natasha and Christical. And we had 80 international students that were just fabulous. And if you want to see any of the stuff that was being done, you can check out our Facebook page. There's an album there, and that I guess we probably still need to add pictures.
We got lots,
to.
yeah.
We got
lots
of
of
pictures,
little
and
videos
stuff.
and whatnot. We'll update.
I guess there was lots of live stories,
Yeah.
and there's some stuff on our Instagram, but I guess not a lot on that. But definitely our Ugly Duckling Nails group on Facebook and our Ugly Duckling Nails page on Facebook has an album there. So it was fun. It was great.
We had a really good group.
It was.
I mean, we've been very
always had a good
fortunate.
group.
I was going to say we've been very fortunate.
It's just nice to see, like, every year that we get such good groups and so much support and the energy and people just
making
really
friendships. A lot of people ended up being really close friends by the end of it. I mean, it's crazy because it's like, oh, it's only 5 days, but it's an intense class.
It is.
Oh, yeah. And it was really...
The first day, everybody's really nervous and
It's really neat to see people helping one another and supporting one another. And we would be walking the aisles just making sure everybody's okay, and you could hear people say, no, you got it, you're good, good job, you're doing a great job.
I love that.
Supporting one another, and that's really what we're about at Ugly Duckling. We really want to promote positivity and encouragement and camaraderie in the industry, because
we had everything from Samantha, was it? That was just one day. The day she graduated her school the day before, and then from her to 40 years experience.
It's very true. So good
all different levels. Different levels.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, we're here today with the Christical, the Cranky Pants, as we like to call her. Just kidding.
No, that's true. It's my nickname.
But it's her day today.
Crankers.
The Christical Cranksters, or the Cranksters, or the Cranky Pants.
You know what? I answer to it all.
Yeah. She just doesn't answer to Christina.
Yeah,
I know, right?
But it's her day today, and we are getting to know her a little bit better. We've had some questions come in on the TBH email, so thank you very much, and keep those coming.
Thank you.
Do you want to kick it off?
Let's kick it off.
Okay,
so we have our first question from Catherine. She says, I have a lot of color acrylics. I did an extended nail bed over a clear tip, then applied the color acrylic. Then I filed the nail to get any of the color acrylic off the extended nail bed. Then capped it with clear acrylic. Is this what you would recommend on how to do it? Yes, so basically to do, I'm assuming for reverse French technique. That all sounds good. I do the exact same thing whether it's over a clear tip or if I have built my base with clear over a form. What I do is, making sure, because what you do is I try to be as clean as possible when I'm tucking my color up around the smile line so that it doesn't get over top of the Foo Pink or the extended nail bed that you've created. If you do, because pigment does spread, I just actually take our medium buffer and just buff off lightly off any of the sparkle that may have kind of gone over top of the pink prior to capping. If you don't, you're going to cap all that sparkle in and you're going to see it in your design. So that is exactly how you do it. So that's perfect. That's a great question.
And also, if I can add, just
yes,
making
please.
sure when they extend that free edge that they take a file and get a really 90-degree angle when they're shaping the
Definitely.
edge,
Definitely
right?
keeping
Like,
the file
you want it
upright.
straight.
Yeah.
That just makes your application so much easier when you're applying the color, or white if you're using white as well. Next one, what made you decide to get into the nail industry? That's a great question. And I will be honest in saying it wasn't my first choice. My first choice was, I was actually enrolled in the aesthetics program. And that was like 6 months that I was waiting to actually start. And when I went to do my final payment, or I can't even remember, it was so long ago, the tuition had actually gone up like $1,000. And at that time, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do aesthetics and if it was really worth it to me. I was just kind of trying to figure out something to do until I really figured out what I wanted to do.
Fresh out of school, weren't you?
Yep. Like I was a year working out of school, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And literally, I remember that being the biggest stress in grade 12, because everyone's planning what they're doing in college and university, and I had no idea. So because I couldn't afford to take the aesthetics program, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take the nail technology program at a school that I actually went to get my nails done in high school. So the students, you would get your nails done by the students there and pay like $5, I think it was at the time. Just, you know, I remember that. And I was like, there's something fun to do. And I remember I always had 2 girls working on me, and I'd come out with nails that didn't look the same. But you know what? To me, I didn't know the difference really. So I thought, hey, this might be kind of fun to do until I figure out what I really wanted to do. And I knew in school the first week was actually, I remember coming home telling my mom, I don't think I can do this, I don't want to do this anymore, because I wasn't getting it right off the beginning. So I was discouraged. And I'm very thankful that I pushed through, because my mom's like, just reminded me on how much money I spent on the course. So I continued to do it, and turned out I loved it. So
that's when I met you.
And that's how the whole chain of us here at Ugly Duckling, because Yvonne, Mother Duck's daughter, taught me, and I met Yvonne in one of the classes, because she came in and covered for Kara. And so I remember that. And then I met Natasha, because she was in the first class when I trained at Martier, and I was actually in class with Amy, who's married to Yvonne's son, Ben. It's confusing.
It's very much a family affair.
We're very family here.
I'm not blood related, but it's family.
Yeah. It's true. So yeah, it's just kind of a small world. So I'm thankful that I ended up deciding to take the nail technology program for sure.
Me too.
Yeah. Any advice for issues with product lifting around the cuticle area? Love Ugly Duckling products, by the way. Well, thank you. Great question. I think natural nail prep is the absolute most important. And I know a lot of people get confused with what the cuticle actually is, but the cuticle is non-living tissue on the nail plate that you can't visually see sometimes until you remove. Making sure that you're softly etching around the nail plate, removing any shine, using your dehydrator and a primer is really going to help. And of course, lifting also does occur with product application. So if you're not applying perfect around that area, or it's too thick, over time it's going to cause it to lift. So just really making sure that you're prepping the natural nail correctly and that your product application is not too thick in the back. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to that too, because too thick means, like I always say to people, if you take your thumbnail and you kind of rub this area and you can feel any ridge at all, that's too thick.
I do that to my students all the time. And the first time they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, you can do this too. If you feel any ridges, you need to blend it better. It's too thick back there.
You want it nice and flush with the natural nail plate so that you can't see when that grows out where the product meets the natural nail.
Without filing the natural.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But if there's any kind of little ridge there or anything, for whatever reason, that's going to be prone to lifting.
100%, yes. So that's a great question. Favorite Ugly Duckling brush for creating your gorgeous French lines? Well, thank you. It really depends on the length that I'm using, but what I generally use would be my number 10. But when it comes to getting really close to the points of the smile line when you're getting close to the skin, the natural side walls. If you're finding it too hard to apply the product with a bigger brush without actually touching the skin, I would switch to a smaller brush, maybe number 8. And maybe sometimes if I'm getting really close, I'll use my 3D brush. So it just really depends on what length you're doing and all that. But as long as you're using a brush that is not going to, you know, touch the skin when you're actually applying is really important. So that's a key. So I switch in between all brushes, just depending on the length that I'm doing. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it's good.
In my head, I know what I'm thinking.
No, that's
so I just want to make sure.
As I say, depending on your mood.
Depending completely.
Oh, I think and on the length of the nail too sometimes.
Totally. If I'm doing my long ones, I'll do 14 and then
Yeah.
switch down to a 10. So it really depends. As long as we're not touching the skin with the brush, we're good to go.
Yeah. One brush is never enough.
It's not. And that's why we offer so many different sizes as well. Oh, this is my favorite question. Sorry. What would you do if you didn't do nails?
I know what
I
this
don't think you should tell them. I think you should do a demo.
Yeah, okay. I will.
Okay.
Okay.
See if you can guess what Christina wants to do. They can't see you on
They
the
can't
floor.
see you on the floor.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Any guesses? Let's see. And whoever guesses it, I'm impressed.
We were already informed of her resignation this morning, so
If
if the right offer arises, she's resigning.
Yeah, it depends who's watching
Yeah.
today.
Any guesses?
yeah, let's just
I don't know.
Oh
No,
my gosh.
people
What would Christical do?
People, a wrestler.
Okay, let me quickly tell you the story behind that. In high school,
Oh no.
in high school, if people told me wrestling was fake, I was super offended. I used to watch every Tuesday and Thursday night SmackDown and oh gosh, I can't even remember.
I did too.
I can't even remember the other one. And I collected all the wrestling dolls. I was obsessed with The Rock. And I had
You don't have to be a wrestling fan for that.
Oh,
That's true. I had posters all around my wall, and that's what I wanted to do, was be a wrestler. Everyone in high school knew it. It was just a passion of mine. So I really believed that I could do it. And I think I like the whole acting too. So
No.
Did you ever take wrestling?
No, but I think I would be pretty good at it, I think. So if there's anyone out there that needs,
Christina and I have often challenged each other to a leg wrestle. It's never actually happened, but it would be interesting.
yes. So that's basically what I would do. What?
Q-Tal's watching right now, and she said Karate Kid.
Nice. That's close. Okay, maybe my acting skills aren't so good.
Hi, Q. We miss you.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a question. I think it's just in general.
Yeah.
And this has been a hot topic lately. When are you going to do the 5K marathon again that you guys did last week?
Oh, is somebody messaging?
Yeah.
Oh,
Natasha.
gosh, we've got a lot of messages.
Hold on. Sorry. One.
I don't know.
We've had so many questions about that.
All I'm gonna say is, when we say something, it's not always the final answer.
No. Not when we say it. Like this one says it.
So we don't know for sure.
I just feel the pressure.
Oh, I know.
And it's true. A couple weeks will go by and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I missed the planning of it and all that stuff. So
no.
We just need like a little lull.
Yeah.
I think, what I was saying to people, because when we had the class last week, we had a lot of people asking me, and I know we had said we really need to take next year to really focus on our education and our distributors. But I said, just give me till December. I need to get through this month in November.
Yeah.
And then
we'll let you know.
But we'll let you know as soon as we...
With plenty of
with,
time.
With our final decision.
Yeah.
Our final decision.
That's right. I love it.
But I mean, it makes me happy that people are enjoying the class that much that they want to come back. So
Totally.
and
Totally.
yeah,
And so many new people that were able to come that
Yes.
are wanting to come.
yeah.
That is
It's a
actually
great
very
thing.
true.
And you know, I think that our venue worked out really good this year. We changed venues, and it was, well, you know, crystal chandeliers always add.
You can't beat that.
But
You can't.
I think it was a pretty good venue the way it was set up.
Definitely.
And, I feel like it was, and it was definitely good for us the way we had it catered, and
Yeah.
I think it worked out well.
Definitely. It was
Always
a lot of
evolving, right?
Yeah.
fun. That's great.
There's a comment here. Not a question, but I love your product. Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much.
We appreciate that. We really
That's
do.
wonderful. Oops.
So I guess any final questions for us before
For Christical.
we head off back to work?
The cranksters, the cranky pants.
Yeah.
It's
No.
pretty-
That's
It's
it.
quiet. Everybody's working today.
You know what?
so-
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well,
Okay.
Thank you again for joining another episode of TBH.
you're so
Thank you.
professional.
Oh.
Okay, we love you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Have a good rest of your week.